Ricky, we just seen the live weigh-ins there. What did you make of both guys? Firstly, Joyce, what did you make of him?
I thought he looked in great shape. I mean, he came in a little bit heavier than last time. Having said that, so did Joe Parker. But I think the extra weight they're carrying, they've used it to their advantage. I don't think they looked, I think, yourself, Spencer, sometimes you train hard for the fights and you don't realise you do it. When you know you've got that little bit of tougher task ahead of you, you just tighten things up in your training camp, you just prepare that little bit. You always prepare hard, but you prepare that little bit. I think they've added extra weight, but they've used it to their advantage. They both look solid as well. I'd say it's the best shape I've seen them in. Yeah,
I thought that as well. I think that Parker coming 5 pounds over his last fight and Joyce coming 6 pounds over his last fight. But they did look solid. I mean, tactically, how do you see this one going? I mean, it's obvious we think that Joe Parker's going to be boxing on the outside early doors with Joyce pushing on, but do you think he can maintain that?
Joe Parker? Yeah. I think there's no doubt that when they've been in the training camp, Andy Lee, I've watched him in my gym last night. They had the last shakeout in my gym. They know they've got to leave something in the tank. They know they've got to do that. And obviously, in order to leave something in the tank, it's how you approach them early rounds. So I try and not win the early rounds by that much. Try and win them by that much. Hold a little bit of the tank and conserve. Maybe a little bit of he's not known as a body puncher, Joe Parker, but I mean, I'd stay on the body a little bit more than you normally would. In order to show him, because that chin of Joe Joyce is, is rock solid. But I think they're prepared for 12 rounds, and they know. I think it might get to a stage for Joe Parker. He might be ahead in the fight, and in the last couple of rounds, I think he might have to show a bit of heart, which we know he's got, and bite down on that gum shield, and hopefully see if he can just get over that finishing line. You know what I mean? I mean, Joyce will be drawing it back as the rounds go on. But I think that's the way I see it going,
I mean, listen, Parker's the former world champion. He's the guy that's boxed at that elite level. Joe Joyce, although he's 7 years older than Parker, it's a coming-of-age fight for him, isn't it? He's not competed at this sort of level, so we're going to find out more about Joyce than we are Parker. I think Parker's improved a lot under the watchful eye of Andy Lee. You've been up close and personal with him as well. I think he's learnt a lot. And do you think Parker's going to bring more to the table now he's with Andy Lee?
Absolutely. And to be honest with you, I spoke to Joe when he was at the gym last night. And I spoke to Tyson. He just looks happy. He looks in a happy camp. It's like a family in there, and they look like they have a laugh a minute in that training camp. And knowing Tyson, no one trains harder than up there. They'll be training harder than that, but he looks happy, and I think he's been better since Andy Lee, and been better since he's been up here. I think, even though he's had a few ups and downs, and tough fights and stuff like that, former WBO champion, but I think this is the best I think we've ever seen him perform, and it's the happiest he's been, and I think it's a perfect fight for both of them at the stages of the career where they're at. I think, what I mean. Joe Joyce, it's his step up, and Joe's got to. I don't know. Will he get another chance after this? I don't possibly, but there's a lot on the line for them both.
Listen, it's $1 million question here. Joe Joyce is number 1 WBO contender. Joe Parker's number 2 WBO contender for the WBO interim world title. The winner obviously stays in the frame. The loser, where does he really go? I mean, especially, I suppose, if Joe Joyce wins, there's a rematch clause in place, so they go over old ground. But for Parker, even although he's only 30, he's got a lot of hanging around to do if he doesn't come through.
I mean, the only good thing is with the heavyweight division at this stage, Spence, is there's lots of opportunities there. There's lots of fighters they can go at. There's lots of good heavyweights, out there. So there will be opportunities. It's whether he gets beat after this one and retains his hunger. Would he personally want to go on and do another one after this? Would he think, would he be thinking himself, this is my last chance? I don't think it is his last chance. There'll be other opportunities out for him, but I'm just thinking, what's in his frame of mind? What's his thinking? There's so much at stake, and I think I just hope he doesn't knock the stuffing out of him mentally if he doesn't come out with it. That's what I feel for Joe.
So listen, I'm going to put you on the spot now, Ricky. Got to do that, mate. Joe Joyce, Joe Parker. Who do you think wins and how?
I think Joe Parker will have a lot of success early.
I thought you were just going to say Joe then.
Joe Parker. I wish I didn't think of that. But no, I think Joe Parker with his boxing ability and his speed, and I think he'll bank a lot of the early rounds. But you've got to expect Joe Joyce to keep coming on. But I think that they're expecting Joe Joyce to come right, on the championship rounds, to be coming right down the home straight, 100 mile an hour, you know what I mean? So I think they're prepared for this. But I think it might reach a stage where he'll bank the early rounds, Joe Parker. Joe Joyce will keep coming on. And I think Joe Parker might be that far in front, but it's whether he can hold on and get his nose over the finishing line.
Listen, you've got to look at like Dillian Whyte. When he boxed Dillian Whyte, is a great example because he was down in the second round. Joe Parker was with an elbow. Again, in the ninth round, he was down heavily, but he can hang on, can't he? He showed that. He showed that he's got that character to bite on the gumshoe, come back, and he actually had Dillian in a lot of trouble. And that's why I'm with you. I lean towards Parker just on the experience, and he'll hang on.
I think he might just see it home.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of miles on the clock, believe it or not. I know Joyce has only had a short number of fights to get to the level where he's at, but look at his miles on the clock with the amateur.
Sure.
The amateur career he's had a magical amateur career. I mean, that's why he turned pro so late. So is there more miles on the clock of Joyce than Parker?
Yeah. That is a great question.
We don't know, mate.
That is a great question. Talking about miles on the clock, mate. There's a few miles on your clock, and you're coming back.
Yeah,
November the 12th. Marco and Tony Barrera. We get it again. The fight's on again. Firstly, the ticket's going well. Training's obviously going well.
Ticket's going well.
You're making me feel fat, mate. It's like
the tickets are going well. I mean, to be honest, it should have been July 2nd, and then it got postponed to November 12th. So fans had an option whether they wanted to hand the tickets back and get the money back, or whether they wanted to be carried over. And thankfully, the majority of them carried it over. They're going to be announcing the undercard next week, but I'm expecting a full house, to share the ring with my friend and one of my heroes in Marco Antonio Barrera. Here there the crowd won last time, and it's giving me positive. Ricky Fatton's gone now.
Yeah, I can see. You're making me feel like Spenny Fatton, mate. It's not good, mate. If I'm totally honest.
Make sure they know I'm the one on the left. Okay, you know what I mean.
It used to be easy to distinguish both of us. Used to go he's the fat guy, and what I mean. But now it's all changed around, mate.
I went on Question of Sport 4 weeks before I started my training camp, and they filmed it, and then it come on the TV 8 weeks into my training camp. So I thought I'd watch that tonight, and I come on the TV, and I thought, oh my God. The size of me. And I thought at the time, I'm not too bad, but I wasn't. I wasn't. And I didn't care about putting weight on because I always knew eventually I'd be back in training, but that's not going to happen no more, is it, these days? So I've got to do it for me, my health and that.
Well, look, you look great, mate. What are you weighing, by the way?
I'm weighing about 12 and a half,
So what have you done? 2-3 stone?
I done 3.5 stone before the first fight. So for this comeback, for this rescheduled one, I've had 2 stone less to lose.
Right.
So I should be better on the night. Sorry, Brilliant. Marco, but I should be better on the night.
Well, looking forward to that November 12th, mate.
Good to see you, mate. Pleasure.
Great seeing you.